Hey friends, before we hit today's interview, let's thank our partner for today and give you guys a gift to start the episode. We're always talking here about our health and being aware of what we put into our bodies. Have you thought about what's in the stuff you're using to clean your home? That's why I'm thrilled to share with you the only thing I use in my home, which is called Snap. Make household cleaning a snap with eco-friendly, economical, multi-purpose Snap products. Snap's concentrated multi-purpose formulas perform light to industrial strength jobs all in one bottle, saving you time and money. Snap products give you the cleaning power of a variety of cleaners, but saves you time, money, and valuable storage space. Snap products were developed with the environment in mind, using plant-based ingredients that are biodegradable, phosphate-free, non-toxic, and bottled in recyclable containers. Get more for your money with Snap. One of my favorite Snap products is the triple enzyme laundry detergent. Remember last week when we talked about the detox and the power of enzymes to break down our food? This laundry detergent is made with enzymes, so it actually breaks down all of the organic stains. It actually removes the stains from your clothes rather than just covering them up. I highly recommend it. So to get 10% off your order, text the word CLEAN, C-L-E-A-N, to 844-947-4846. You'll receive the link and your coupon code for 10% off Snap right to your phone. Again, you're going to text the word CLEAN to 844-947-4846. This is a toll-free number, but standard text and data rates may apply. All right, guys. Now for today's interview with Jordan Paris. Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jenn, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries. Hey guys, welcome back to Salad with a Side of Fries. As always, I'm your host, Jenn Trepic, and today's guest is going to be awesome. You guys, he is a 22-year-old author, podcast host, and former college athlete who's been featured in Forbes, Men's Health, Yahoo Finance, MarketWatch, and NASDAQ. On top of his top-ranked podcast called Growth Mindset University, where he interviews young up-and-comers and the most successful people on the planet, like Mark Manson, Dan Millman, Naveen Jain, and Dan Lok, he actually started his career as a personal trainer. His approach to life and business is simple yet powerful. Don't make a living, design a life. He challenges others to rise above circumstances, break the mold of society, and take control of their lives. Guys, it's my honor to introduce you to Jordan Paris. Welcome, Jordan.
Jenn, I dig the way you read that, and I apparently am going to be awesome today. So
yeah, no pressure.
Yeah. I dig it. So a lot of podcasters, because I work with a lot of podcasters, and I'm very much immersed in that industry now. They're just like, it's like monotonously reading a bio, and it's like,
no, we're here to make everybody happy,
like,
and
this is fun. Yes, it's
awesome.
So I appreciated that greatly.
You're welcome, and we're honored to have you. Thank you for spending your time with us. So let's dive right in. I mentioned, you started as a personal trainer, and you actually grew up in a very health-focused family.
Yeah.
Right? Your dad is a doctor, your mom's a nurse, your uncle's a chiropractor. So tell us what that was like, and how that sort of played into choosing personal training.
Yeah, I mean, it's always just been priority number one, health. There's even a little card of my values in my wallet, which is actually, it's in my car. I would show you right now, but it's in my car. I actually left it in the glove box today for some reason. But anyway, there's this card of like all my values, and number one is health. And it was just, there's never like a conscious decision. It was just like ingrained within me, and just from like I always ate my vegetables, because
right.
I mean, that's like the healthiest person you can be as a like, a 10-year-old is someone who eats their vegetables. Like, you're still going to have the candy, you're still going to have that stuff. But like, I ate my vegetables. And then when I was 13, and we never had soda in the house. We just didn't have a ton of junk food in the house. Like, my mom was very strict with that. When everyone else was having, I just couldn't understand it. Why we couldn't have soda and like sit in the fridge. I would just beg and plead, and I don't understand. Like, ugh, like
It's funny, the
it never
things we
happened.
think are important when we're a kid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was so confusing, and but now I get it, and I'm so thankful for that. Even like even when I think I even mentioned this when we were talking before, but even when like we would go to Wendy's,
Mhm.
I would get the loaded baked potato and chili. Like I
Yep.
wasn't getting burger and fries every time. Like I was getting healthier stuff.
Sure.
Uh, but I would, so back to the soda thing. I would drink soda whenever I could. But then when I was 13, I just decided like I kind of want to limit myself to once a month, and I started doing that, and for a
Mhm.
couple of months, and then after a few months, I just stopped drinking soda entirely, and I can't even tell you the last time I've drank soda. I'm 22, and it must be approaching a decade. It must be. I'm sure I drank it somewhere between 13 and 16, but after that, it's anyway. I really don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't even have it in like, some like in alcohol, like you mix the drinks, and sometimes, like a rum and coke. I don't even do that. Like there's like, I'm not cheating
Right.
here. I just haven't had soda. So, but I just started like knocking things off one by one. Like
Mhm.
what's the next thing I'm going to do? What's the next little improvement I'm going to make to be a little bit healthier? Like I always just cared about it a lot, and and I just kept being like getting better and better as I went through high school then, and now it's at the point where like the healthiest, like the most recent iteration I made was like, okay, I'm going to stop drinking out of uh, all plastic, because like
Hey,
I'm just
yeah.
because I'm just running out of things to like improve upon at this point. Like it's very very little meat. I did treat myself this week. I'm actually going to make some lamb chops tonight.
Ooh.
But look, I haven't had meat in a really long time. Not like I'm not a vegan. I'm not,
Mhm.
but but it's like a lot of greens, very little meat, very little grains. I rarely have that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
quick question. Growing up and being so health conscious, a lot of our listeners have kids. So, is there something you would say was maybe like the best thing? Maybe it was just not having soda and some
yeah.
of the stuff in your house, but is there something you would say to people that your family did that really created this in you?
Yeah, look, the soda thing is the first thing that came to mind as being
Yeah.
super important, just not keeping it in the house. Like you don't have to be like a dictator and never ever ever let your kids have soda and make them only eat avocados.
Right.
That's not fun, and it's kind of like stealing their childhood in a way. But like when the times you go out to eat, which shouldn't be like 5 times a week, then let them have soda maybe once a week. That's cool.
Mhm.
But the other thing I was going to say, gosh, what was the other thing? It was much. I distracted myself. Gosh,
No
I
worries.
forget. But look, I think that was invaluable for me. The other thing I remembered it. Yeah, there was always a vegetable on like
Mhm.
at dinner. There was always some like usually there'd be three things, maybe like I don't know, steak. Uh, I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
like two, three things, like steak and asparagus, or
Yep.
there was just it was always something. It wasn't just straight like meat and
Potatoes.
yeah, but white potatoes do not count as a
Right.
vegetable, by the way. Sweet
Truth.
potato, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Um, awesome. So, and you mentioned this in the very beginning about your priorities, right? And I know it's so important to kind of, for each of us to determine like our top values, right? So, what are your top three, and how would you teach somebody to identify their own priorities?
Yeah, I mean, look, the way I did it was, one of the books behind me was, I read Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within when I was 17, and I followed all the exercises. So I wrote that was one of the exercises, write down your values. So I did that. But the way I kind of went down was health, and number two is cheerfulness. Being of good cheer.
Hmm.
And I forget what the third one forget what the third one is, but I think those two are super, super important to me. Think about it. Like, and just envision like the person you want to be as you go throughout your day. Like, I just do this in the car. Like, as I'm about to walk into someone, like who do I want to be right now? Not that I'm trying to like be someone I'm not. I'm just trying to like extract the good out of
Right.
myself. So like, yeah. What were you gonna say?
Like putting your best foot forward.
Yeah, right.
Best version of you.
Right. So like, I get out, I'm like thinking in the car for a second. I want to be charismatic. I want to be of good cheer. I want to be
Mhm.
positive. I don't want to be like that person that talks crap all the time. So, I
Right.
don't,
Yeah.
that's terrible. That's a cancer. That if you talk crap all the time, you're a cancer. So I want to be
Right.
like the opposite of that. I know someone that has a rule to never ever talk crap ever, and it's like
That's awesome.
and I just aspire to that so much. I'm not like there yet, but I aspire to it. It's somewhere on my value list.
Right. So how does someone identify their top values?
Well, just kind of what I said, like envision, like who do you want to be as you go throughout your
Right.
day? That
Yeah.
is, I think it's just as simple as that.
Perfect. And I know your health is, your number one, and you talk about sleep, eating right, and functional movement. So walk us through those three things really quick.
Yeah, eating right. I keep it clean, Jen.
Yeah.
I just do. It's when I'm at home. There's no such thing as cheating. I make one good decision per week at the grocery store, and that was today. All I have to do is be in a good frame of mind for like 45 minutes while I'm at Whole Foods and just make some good decisions there, and I'm like set for the week. Like, bam, I'm not cheating.
That reminds me, Jordan, thank you. Our members this week are getting a delicious recipe for Tuscan cod. So it's super simple to make, easy and great for a weeknight dinner. Quick reminder to everyone for how to get this recipe. If you're not already a member, you're going to join our Salad with a Side of Fries membership program. Go to glow.fm/salad with a side of fries to join. It's $10 a month. You'll receive a weekly recipe, a monthly article, extra discounts from me and our partners, plus access to live Q&A sessions with me. Yes, really, all of this for less than the cost of one Starbucks coffee a week. It'll be this price for January, February, and March. Then we'll reassess the offering and the price to keep it going and bring you the absolute best bang for your buck. So head on over to glow.fm/salad with a side of fries to start your membership now if you haven't already. It's seriously easy, 3 clicks. And then you'll be set up to get this week's recipe, our delicious Tuscan cod. You can then change it up and make something new eating at home this week.
I don't go out to eat. Like I just don't. You really can't eat healthy eating out. You just can't. It ends up kind of like you end up getting the salad, and then you end up getting fries and pizza later because the salad just sucks.
It's definitely more challenging. There's a lot more, to making those choices. So I get
for
it. Eat
sure.
home, keep it easy.
For sure. But like, eating out, you can eat out like and be generally healthy, but I'm talking like there's another level of health
Oh,
and
yeah.
eating out, nothing. And I mean, nothing cuts it for me. Like, I'm not being like Mr. Superior here. I'm just saying like, if you are on that next level of health and you like are really nitpicking and care about every little ingredient that goes in
Right.
within in your body, then eating out is not for you. You can
Totally.
enjoy it with friends every now and then, which I do, and I really enjoy that. But it's not a subscription once a week thing that I'm doing. It's whenever it arises, I get the opportunity. Fine, I'll consider it. But
Yeah.
so I keep it clean at home, and if I'm on vacation, it's a little different.
Of course.
I enjoy that, but look, I'm at home all the time, so.
Yeah.
I do
So
very well
that's
here. And
eating right.
yes,
Tell us about the
yes.
sleep piece.
Sleep, yeah, 10 to 6:30 or 10 11 6:35 actually is the exact time that I get up. I get up at 6:35 and and then I move. But before I at 7, I go to my F-45 training class. I don't teach it. I'm a participant there. I
Yeah,
really enjoy that, and I really think I like the idea of having a trainer myself, and like, yeah, they're on you. Like, I can't get
sure.
away with stuff. It's a small little class. I can't get away with stuff. Like, I think trainers are very valuable, which is kind of why I became one several years ago. But the sleep thing, there's so many factors that go into it. It's like people people have caffeine like all day, and
Oh
they
yeah.
think they're just like, oh, it doesn't affect me. I can go to sleep. Well, you might be able to, like, there's a difference between knocking out and like actually resting and sleeping, right? Like
Hmm.
you might be able to knock out whenever, you might that might be easy for you, but like the caffeine is still going to be buzzing around in your system, and you're not going to hit like those REM cycles. You're not going to hit your sleep cycles optimally, and you're going to wake up feeling restless, which so many people do. I am 22 years old. Everyone my age, they drink coffee all day. The half life of a molecule of caffeine is approximately 6 hours, depending on the person, like 4 to 6 hours. And so you drink 140 milligrams of caffeine at noon, which is pretty common, and 140 milligrams is kind of low. I bet people do like 200, 300. So I mean,
Easily. A
but yeah,
small Starbucks is in the 200 to 300 range.
right. Okay, we're gonna go with 200 for this example, and I'll make it 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. you got 200 milligrams of caffeine buzzing around in your system. 6 hours later, what's it? 4 p.m. you got 100 milligrams buzzing around in your system. At 10 p.m. you got 50 milligrams of caffeine buzzing around in your system when you should be completely like winded down. You should have started winding down at like 6 o'clock. Not like blue light blocking glasses, no blue light,
Yep.
and you're winded down. There should not be caffeine buzzing around in your system. There should not be 50 to 100 milligrams of caffeine buzzing around. But at 10 o'clock, you got the 50 left in you. And then at 4 a.m., in the middle, like you're about to wake up, you still got 25 milligrams of caffeine buzzing around in your system. And you wake up feeling restless. People get up, people my age, so many people my age get up and they're like, I'm tired.
Right.
Well, no crap. Like,
Right.
duh, of course you're tired. And it's this vicious cycle. It's this vicious cycle. Yeah, people watch TV at night. All the caffeine drinkers, they watch TV till like 10 o'clock or midnight, which is, by the way, the blue light. For every minute that you're looking at blue light at night, it delays the onset of melatonin 2 minutes. For every minute you're looking at that screen, it delays the onset of melatonin 2 minutes. Melatonin, of course, is what helps you sleep.
Right.
So it's just as, and then
There
you
are so
get up.
many little things that we do where we end
Yeah,
up in
yeah,
this vicious cycle and we're
yeah,
like, how
yeah.
did I get here?
Yeah, well, the vicious cycle, yeah, you get up, you feel restless, and you throw a bunch of more caffeine down, and then you go to sleep a little later that night because you got even more caffeine in your system, and then you wake up later, and then you're drinking caffeine later the next day, and then you're going to bed later, and you got more caffeine, and you just wake up feeling restless every single day, and you're watching TV at night, and it's like it's a disaster, and you and you're
Right.
and you're tired 24/7. So many people my age I know doing that. It's like
Yeah.
it's really bad. And I'm just like, no caffeine.
Not just
I
your
don't
age.
do
I
it.
mean, so many people in
Oh yeah,
general.
this is America. This is the
Right.
culture. Yeah. And so look, if I have any caffeine, it is in like a cacao chocolate bar that
Mhm.
maybe I'll have in the like at 8 a.m. you know, and and there's like, what is there, like a quarter amount of caffeine in chocolate, in like pure chocolate, as there is in coffee. It's about that. It's a
Yep.
good rule of thumb. I don't know the exacts on that, but it's like just the perfect teeny tiny amount. Not that I
Just a
even
little
need it,
bit. Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then
that's important. The sleep is super. I'm all about it. I I leave places early to, like, to get home to bed on time. Like, I was at a NASCAR race yesterday, first time
so
ever.
fun.
I was on the track, actually. It was pretty, at the pit stop. It was pretty cool. But
That's awesome.
it was
So
in
cool.
it was at the Homestead Miami Speedway, and I was like, look, dude, the guy who invited me, I was like, look, dude, I gotta go. I put it on the notes on my phone because you can't, you get the earbuds and you can't hear the engines are so loud. So I showed him like, hey, gotta go so I can get home in good time. It was like 6:30, and I really wanted to make it home before 9 o'clock. So I got home at like 9:15,
Yeah.
and I got to bed at like 10:15 actually that last night, which was great.
Yeah, I have a calendar appointment in my phone for the same time every evening that says get ready for bed so
Yep,
that
yep,
whatever I'm doing, it sort of interrupts me and gets me into the next phase of my day,
yep,
you
yep.
know.
Absolutely. So the movement part, which
Yeah.
is is very important too. But I think sleep and eating right are far more important than this third piece. I don't know if they're kind of in order: eating right, sleeping right, and moving. But
Mhm.
I kind of think eating and sleeping are like tied for first. But movement is definitely takes a backseat. Not that I don't do it 4 times a week. I do. I do it Tuesday. I do it Thursday. I do it Saturday, and I do it Sunday. Tuesday, Thursday, 7 a.m. so that my awake hormones, cortisol, are peaking at the right time, so that again I
Yep.
can get to bed that night. Going to bed on and getting a proper night's sleep, it begins the day before. It begins that morning. It's not just okay, 10 o'clock, I got to go to bed. Like, no, it's like it's a round the clock game to get to bed on time. Like, all these things got to be in order, you know?
Yeah.
So I move 7 a.m. Saturday, Sunday is like 8 o'clock or 9 a.m., depending on what classes they have. And it's 45 minutes, functional movements. And I really enjoy it. And it's just like, it's just all these three things are non-negotiables.
Yeah, and I think that's the key to whatever you determine your priorities are, making them the non-negotiables in your day and in your life.
Yep, yep, absolutely.
That's awesome. So, how did personal training evolve into personal development? And if you can explain for everybody too, because I think it's critical, really understanding growth mindset.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'll start off with it first. Actually, growth mindset really just means anything can be improved with effort
Yep.
slash purposeful practice. It's very simple. And so I was a personal trainer. I got a I got my certification from National Academy of Sports Medicine at 19,
Mhm.
and which doesn't seem too long ago, but it really is a long time. I don't know. Uh, and I don't. It's hard to say. It's hard to say how that evolved. Um, it just I got the certification because I just wanted to work for myself, and I thought that's what I wanted to do for like ever.
Yep.
I wanted to do it at the time, certainly, but like I don't know, I didn't want to keep trading my time for money like that. And like
For
there's
sure.
just a better way. I started to get, a year and a half in. I had higher ambitions at that point. Uh Different mountains to climb.
Yeah.
And so I really don't know how it happened, but somehow I've ended up here today.
Yeah, well, and so on your podcast, you interview tremendous leaders and
Mm.
titans of various industries, right? So all of these people, I think, have one thing in common, which is that they're operating at a world-class level.
Yeah, for sure.
So what would you say are some of the biggest lessons you've learned from your guests?
Yeah, this one it's not something you would think, but I said this in Forbes, that it's really like, we think these are the unbreakable titans of industry, but really, like they're actually just people with
Yep.
emotions, just like you and I. It sounds so stupid and so simple, but like we put these famous people on such a pedestal.
Mhm.
And if you actually just don't treat them like they're on that pedestal and just treat them like anyone else, you
Mm-hmm.
can form a great relationship with anyone. I think that's
Yeah.
how I've done it, because my podcast is like, it's different in that, I mean, it's different in many ways, but it's also different in the fact that, like, I I feel that I make closer friendships with many more of my guests than any other podcast, or than most other podcasts. And I think people see that shine through in a lot of the interviews too.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Because so I think, to your point, right? It's all about building relationships. And the more we can get to know about someone, sometimes, we're all human, but sometimes the difference between them and us is the slightest little tweak
oh
or
yeah,
this little nuance that maybe they're not even aware of to communicate. But by building that relationship, you can learn it.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's complicated though. It's never like one size fits all for these
Yep.
people. So it's very hard to say. It's why I kind of give that answer because I get that question. Like, what's the lesson? And I kind of like the way I answer it, the way I just did, the way I always
Mhm.
do, is like, it's kind of a dodge. It's kind of dodging the question, because, like, I just don't know. It's vastly different for everyone. I seek out different people for all sorts of different lessons. Like, it's hard to spot an underlying
Well, but
theme.
I think what you just said is the key, right? Different people for different lessons. I think
Yeah,
for all of us to realize that we have something that we can learn from everyone, no matter what their expertise
for
is.
sure, for sure. The one Okay, so I will say, one of the only underlying themes I can think of actually is they're all victors as opposed to victims. They don't have the victim mentality that is rampant in the United States of America in 2019, going
That's
on
huge.
2020. Like, and that's everyone, hundreds. Like, none of them are playing the blame game all day. Like, some, a lot of people, we've all been around those people. Everything is always someone else's fault.
Right.
It's always like they're always like
I
the
call it the
victim.
plums, the poor little old me.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, ew.
Right?
Yeah, I don't like that. So I like hanging out with these people because none of them are like that.
For sure. So I think one of the biggest things, whether you're learning about business, like on your podcast, or health on this one, or reading books or whatever, I'm really big on action following education, right? Knowledge is power, but only to the extent that you implement it.
For sure.
So, do you have any tips for people to implement the lessons they learn?
Hmm. Well, for me, it was it's hard to say exactly how to do it, but it was natural for me in that, like, my major area of study the past 2 years has been human behavior and communication.
Hmm.
And in that regard, it's very easy to go out and practice that in the field, because that's life.
Yep.
Communication is life. So I would read the book, hear the podcast, hear the interview, and just, I was like, okay, it's and now I'm back in the real world, and it's time to use everything. So, like, and like, I wouldn't try to like implement everything at once.
Yeah.
I would focus on one or two things and really remain conscious of that, so that I could measure what I was doing in a way, as opposed to just trying to bite off more than I could chew, and just feeling super lost. So I think that's
Yeah.
an
No, I
important
think
thing to
that's
keep in
great,
mind.
right? Like choose one or two things and focus on that until it becomes a part of your way of being or whatever. And then, kind of tackle the next.
And then move on. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you. I love this stuff. And I love talking about growth mindset and personal development and all of those things. So I really appreciate your insight and your
Yeah.
experience. And so we're at the point where I'll ask you some off-topic questions that we ask everybody who joins us. Are you ready?
Oh, goody. I like these. Okay.
All right. So, what's the best thing you've done for your health this week? And what's the naughtiest thing you've done related to your health this week?
The latter portion of that question is gonna be funny. Yeah. So the best thing I did this week. Okay, so I lost last week. At this time last week, it was 136.4 pounds with
Okay.
6.3% body fat. The body fat thing for me is normal. That's always around 6, 7, and that's cool. I like it like that, and that's like athlete level.
Oh, yeah.
Which I train like I am an athlete.
Mhm.
I've been an athlete my whole life, and I still treat myself like one. But the best thing I did, because I lost 5 pounds. The root cause. Now that I think about it, yes, I forgot for a little bit, but I bought this beautiful 2019 fully loaded Mustang Friday, so like 9 days ago, convertible. And look, I had a convertible Mustang before, but this one's like new, so it's awesome.
Everybody loves a new toy.
And it's full. Like I had base, right. I had base model 2014 before, but like, so this is just a different car. So I'm super excited about it. And that weekend from Friday to Sunday, I went from 141 to 136 pounds, and I was already down 4 pounds from normal. I was like, oh, this is getting too low. This is like high school weight for me now. This is bad. I was hungry too, but I was like too excited to eat too, and I get nauseous when I would eat. So I got a TED talk the day after that too. So I just had a whole whirlwind of like I couldn't eat. So when I went to the grocery store today, I loaded up. I got more food than I normally would. Like I'm gonna eat a lot more this week. I ate a lot more today. I actually had 1.5 avocados already today. I'm making the lamb chops with asparagus tonight. I got 3 sweet potatoes over there. I got 5 avocados left. I got all these almond flour crackers that I always get them anyway. But like I got a little more than normal this week. I got these Primal Kitchen. Actually got like 24 of these. No, not 24, like 20. The Primal Kitchen little bite bar.
Oh, yeah.
They're not like the full bar, but like it's like the square.
The
And
little ones.
they're
Yeah.
super clean for me because I think the other ones have chia seeds in them, and I'm kind of allergic to them, and I really don't think they're actually pretty inflammatory anyway. So I try to avoid them. So these ones are like perfect. They're super clean, and so I got a lot of those. I had 2 of those today. So like I'm back on the track to gaining like good weight
Quality.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah. The worst thing I did for my health was yesterday. I was at the NASCAR race, and look, if I was a victim, I'd be like, oh, poor me. Like I'm being forced to like eat unhealthy like while I'm here. Like, like it's not my fault, But like I knew what I signed up for when I went there. Like
Right.
it's part of the package. Like I'm gonna be there all day. I'm 2.5 hours away from home, and I'm gonna eat like crap. I'm gonna eat whatever the heck I want. So yesterday I had pasta because from the team made it because I was at the pit stop with the team. So I had that for lunch. It was like chicken Alfredo, and it's all drugged up meat.
Oh, sure.
Terrible meat. So, but I was like, whatever. And then I had a Milky Way. I had a Snickers. I had a Twix. I had a couple of those because I wasn't full. And then I had 2 brownies. And then for dinner, I had the lowest quality burger you could ever. Sorry, that's a really long answer, but like a really low quality cheeseburger, but like kind of good. And then and I had stale fries, which were also kind of good. But so that's what I had yesterday. So that was pretty bad. I haven't been that bad in a long time. Like,
but now today you're
bad.
like right back on and went to the grocery store and did your thing. So
for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. If you could cure one ailment, disease, or sickness, what would it be?
That's really tough to say. Well, I'm not going to say cancer as like a big umbrella because some of it is within our control. Like just stop eating things that feed cancer cells and it'll go away, or you won't get it at all. But the caveat here is like childhood cancer. What's the
Yeah.
term for it?
Pediatric.
Pediatric cancer. Like
Yeah.
that's what I would eradicate, because that's not their
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah. Cancer is a big one. A lot of people say cancer.
For sure. I
If you
bet.
could embark on a different career, what would it be? Or maybe what's your next career?
I wouldn't say it's my next career, but there's two things. I wish I pursued playing baseball a lot harder. I really think now, seeing like everything that's possible in my life now that I never could have imagined, I'm realizing now how close I could have been. How it was my goal to like play. I was like, oh, I'll for sure play in minor league baseball at the very
Yeah.
least. I would just love to. I'd love to do that. And now I'm like 22. Obviously it's
Go
not too
for
late,
it.
but like I haven't played in like 4 years. So it would be a long road, and I'm already like out of I'd be an older prospect. And so I don't know, but like no excuses. But
That'd be fun.
I really think I could have done it. I really could have. I'm certain I could have. But the other thing is I would be an actor.
Okay. I could see that.
Yeah, it's a very different world, but
But not that far from where you are right now. So I could see that.
probably
You
yeah.
know. All right. If you were a superhero, what would be your superpower?
Oh, these are good questions. My superpower would be, oh, wow. This is now it's getting embarrassing.
Uh-oh.
My superpower would be making as much money, like more money than anyone.
I like it.
I'd be I'd be the first trillionaire.
Yeah.
Which is,
Oh, I love it.
it's on the table. It's on the table.
I was going to say, you could still do that now.
Yeah.
All right. This one will probably be the toughest question for you. Your favorite book on any topic or fiction?
Oh, it changes from month
For
to
sure.
month, which it changes between The Subtle Art of Not Giving
Mhm.
You Know What by Mark Manson
Yep.
and Dan Millman's Way of the Peaceful Warrior, both of whom I've interviewed. Right now it's Dan Millman, because
Both are phenomenal books.
we keep in contact more. So he's on my good side right now. He's honestly, Dan is such a good guy. Like he's as advertised. He's awesome. Very kind man.
Yeah. Highly recommend both books. All right. Your biggest pet peeve?
The humble brag.
Yeah.
So honored and humbled to announce that I have just been elected public relations chair of my sorority. Oh, and everyone's like, oh my God, oh, your life is changed. Oh my God, I'm so proud. The humble brag. It's just a surefire way to like, no matter what it is, as soon as you include the words honored, humbled, and the phrase to announce, you're for sure going to get 100 likes. For like, no matter how unpopular you are, like if you use those words, you'll get it. And people know that. So like, or at least subconsciously. So we're in this announcement, happy, humble, braggy culture. And it's like,
For
ew.
sure.
I know people that do it like 5 times a week, and it's like,
Right. Or when people, anything for the gram, right?
Yeah. Anything for the gram. People that I was thinking about it today, and I'm guilty of it too in years past. Like people just do people invest so much time and money into like photo shoots only for Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Like they don't, they don't have this like big personal brand where they got this website. They just want to be popular on Instagram. They just want to get some like cool gram pics.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today. I was like, that's a little weird. People like live their lives just to post on Instagram.
Right. Well, it's the whole social media culture, right? And the perception that we have of other people's lives based on what we see on social media.
Yeah, for sure. I'm guilty.
Right. I mean, we all have our moments. I mean, I think that's a whole other deep dive for sure.
Yeah. You can say I live my life I have a different outlet. You live your life to post on LinkedIn, Jordan. I'm like, oh, I think you're
Okay.
right. I think you're right.
All right. Finally, in your opinion, what's the next frontier in wellness?
The next frontier. Well, yeah. I was talking about it with Naveen Jain. Shortly you've heard this, but like, artificial intelligence that just automatically clean up the senescence cells, the zombie cells, so to say.
Yep.
That just constantly repair, like, they detect like when something needs to be repaired. They detect like the second cancer pops up. I mean, we all have cancer cells within us, but like the second it gets out of control, we'll all be able to like monitor that stuff. And so the fact that like Naveen talks about it makes me, and a lot of important people talk about it, makes me think it's like,
it's really happening.
Yeah. These are not scrubs.
Right.
They know that. I think they know what's going on. Yeah.
They're in there. They can make it happen. They're in the room where it happens, so to speak. Right.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, Jordan, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story and your knowledge. Share with everybody how to connect with you and continue learning from you.
Hey, Growth Mindset University is the podcast that I've really, it's the joy of my life. Some of the people we talked about today, like Dan and Mark, that you can catch their episodes there. You can catch all Grant Cardone. It's coming out January 6th. January 8th, my book, The Podcast Playbook, is coming out. It was already, when we talked, it was on pre-order that hour. And it was a bestseller for 2 weeks. It's so like, and that's the only thing I wanted to accomplish with that book, The Podcast Playbook. And it's like done before it's even out now. It's just like kind of just coasting with it.
Yeah. So congratulations. And guys, if you want to learn how to be a podcaster, pick up Jordan's book.
Yeah. Well, that's it though. That's what I would point people to. If you really want to stalk me though, jordanparis.com, you can find everything there and all the socials, whatever. If you're into
Perfect.
that kind of
We'll
thing.
put links to it in the show notes. And of course, you guys know me. I'm your host, Jenn Trepeck. Connect with me on Instagram and Facebook at Jenn Trepeck, JENNTREPECK. Make sure to find our Facebook page and our private Facebook group so that you can share your stories and challenges and victories and questions, all the good stuff. Of course, we're Salad with a Side of Fries podcast.com. Thank you guys for joining us. Jordan, thank you again. And have a great week, everybody.
Thank you.
Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform. Share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it, and you are worth it. Happy healthy.